Ladies and gentlemen, Black Hat Nation, welcome to the 2021 edition of Ferrum Football First and 10. I'm your host, Taylor Chitwood. Alongside me, as always, is head coach Cleive Adams. Coach, thanks for taking a little bit out of your time, of your day today, to be able to talk to us.
Yeah, we appreciate you having me, and just look forward to touching base with you and seeing where we're at moving forward in our program.
Yes, sir. I know that we have a little itinerary here that we put together with some notes, but some things are bigger than football, and
That's right.
I think this weekend, the peek out game that we have for homecoming, this is a little bit bigger than football, especially as it hits home to you, as close with your family. Your daughter Chelsea will be part of the festivities this weekend, walking out with the captains at the coin toss. It's going to be really, really cool. Again, it's the pink out game, so everybody coming to WB Adams Stadium, bring your pink. We'll have some more out on social media, so follow us there with it being the pink out game. But, Coach, a really cool touch to be able to have her come out and for her to share her story with everybody and just make a difference.
Yeah, it's been a journey for Chelsea. It's been a journey for our family. I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize the magnitude of this opportunity and situation. My wife Jill's been instrumental in spearheading this event and tying the game with the pink out piece with breast cancer awareness. And for me, it's just an emotional time. You can never, as a father, imagine going through something like this. And we always, in our lives, have been touched by cancer one way or another. We all are not exempt from that. Anyone that's lived enough life is going to have that impact, and I've had it in my life. But when it touches your child, that's the ball game changes significantly, and I'm just super proud of her. Her strength has given me inspiration. Just watching that journey and walking alongside with her, the strength of my wife throughout this journey has been unbelievable. And everybody looks at me as the big mighty leader and of the household and whatever. But really, honestly, I had to take a back seat and follow the lead because those two ladies really stood tall and showed me what it's all about.
You're kind of at a loss of words. It's going to be a moving experience for sure to be able for her to be able to share her story as she already has,
Sure.
And to be able to continue to make a difference as she is in remission and a survivor.
That's right. We're just blessed. You talk about a lot of different things, but for me, it's a blessing, and every single day of my life, I give thanks to the Lord for one, giving my daughter the insight to self-detect and be proactive in terms of stepping out and knowing that something's going on there and getting her regular checkups and things of that nature and just blessing her with that insight and an early detection opportunity for us as a family and moving forward with that was a huge benefit for us in this journey.
Back to football now, Coach. Coming up, we have Shenandoah
Yep.
At home, homecoming game, which we'll get to homecoming a little bit here later in the show. But Shenandoah coming in, scoring about 30 points a game, giving up about 25. So, pretty split down the middle there. They do most of their damage through the air, have over 1,100 yards through the air, 11 touchdowns. They have thrown 5 picks. And that'll play into our advantage as well with our strong secondary play that we've had so far. But they also have about 900 yards on the ground with 9 TDs. So they do a lot of their damage through the air. They start a true freshman quarterback. But, again, they have a little bit of a ground attack. What are you looking for them to do this weekend here at WB Adams?
Well, I look for Shenandoah to do what they do. This year, Stan, the offensive coordinator, has expanded his run game quite a bit. Everyone that knows football in this region knows Stan Hodges, and we know what his style is, slinging around a lot and spread you out, but he's done an unbelievable job just balancing up the percentage run to pass, and like you said, they're right around 900 yards on the ground, which is, for them, it allows them and opens up their passing game because they're able to stretch the field and make you make plays one-on-one. And when you have to defend the entire football field vertically and horizontally, that makes being at the right place, having your eyes in the right place, it puts a premium on that, and that's what we're going to have to do. And I do believe that they're going to be who they are. They're 4-1 coming into this deal. You don't try to fix something that ain't broke. So we understand who they are, and we just have to understand, one, who we are and do our jobs and make sure that we make them earn everything that they get and try to minimize the chunks. If you break them down statistically, they get going when they're able to get chunks. And it reminds me of somebody I know, an offense that I know, that the big play kind of gets us rolling.
On the other side of the ball for them, they have a little bit of an unorthodox look. But again, we talked about it earlier in the week. That works for them. That's what they do, and they're not gonna pretend like they're not that.
That's right.
They have strong play by Ben Bergen. He has almost double the amount of tackles as anybody else, stats wise. So he's the horse that they ride there on the defensive side. But Coach, I mean, is that something that we're going to look to? Is that going to be a factor, or are we going to, what are the adjustments looking at when you see something that you don't see every week?
Yeah, I mean, for us, our guys have to understand what they're looking at. When I first looked at the film, the way I dissected it down is a form of bear. In the football world, that's just a 3-0-3 alignment at the front, and five down, 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, but they do it in a way that is not traditional. Usually when the team gets in a bear front, they're primarily man-to-man concepts. They're defending the perimeter and making the box look very inviting, but at the same time they have so much chaos going in there. If you don't understand what you're looking at, don't understand how to break down the numbers and understand where to attack, you're going to struggle. And I think what we have to do is first understand what we're going to do, and then from that point be able to communicate that information to all 11 guys on the offensive side of the ball to understand how we're going to attack and where we're going to attack. And if we do those things, we'll be able to put some stress on them. They're going to make plays. They're 4-1 for a reason. They're playing some good football, and they're only giving up 25 a game, which is pretty good. And so we have to take care of our part of it in terms of understanding what we're looking at.
On our side of the ball, we have a little over 1,200 yards through the air, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. Titus Jones has been really, really instrumental in the passing game, not turning the ball over as well. That's right. Something that we haven't done thus far. Looking at it in the ground game, 533 yards and 3 touchdowns. Strong play there by freshman Zach Smiling. We've used 5 or 6 different backs in the backfield, and everybody's capable of doing that. It's one of those, calling stats. It's like, all right, which one's in the backfield now? And I mean, it's everybody is capable of getting the big play, but also doing what they're supposed to. Just taking the play and being able to make something of it.
Well, I think being at 533 yards of rushing here for the season for us is a place that we don't want to be here at Ferrum. We're accustomed to Brian Man rushing the ball. We're accustomed to our history of great running backs over the years and being able to get that ground game going. And it's been a challenge for us. And we've challenged ourselves going into this week to try to do a better job with that in terms of growing up our offensive line a little bit. But the one thing you have to understand is you dance with the young lady that you brought, and what we're going to do is Titus does an incredible job in the passing game, and we're slowly but surely growing our offensive line to the point that we're getting more comfortable about moving that football. And once we get those 2 things lined up, we'll be pretty interesting to watch, and we do have a stable of backs, and we've had some situations with injury and things of that nature and guys stepping up, but we're very excited about Smiley and what he's doing. Josh Ellaby is stepping up. Joe Burris is on his way back from injury, and then Dupe is doing that just workmanship, that blue collar Johnny on the spot type, giving us quality reps in that regard. So we just have to continue to work on understanding what we have to do up front. And if we do those things, and Coach Summers is doing a great job just moving the pieces around and trying to find the right chemistry. Anyone who's ever coached offensive line understands it's about chemistry. It's 5 guys who are working together, and the communication and the chemistry has to be there for us to take advantage of our run game, and I think it's coming.
And, another big advantage of our running backs is they can all catch it out of the backfield.
Right.
And, again, as soon as they catch it, plant that foot, they're gone. I think that really extends our passing game as well.
Yeah, it does. And again, we have some dynamic backs that can do a lot of different things. Not only can they carry the ball, like you said, they can catch it out of the backfield. And that was one of the situations coming out of halftime at the Bridgewater game where we had a back flare out. I think it was Ellaby flared out of the backfield. Gave us a spark so we could get out there and score in the first drive of the second half to give us some life and kept us in the football game. So we're looking at making sure that we take the personnel that we have and we do what they do instead of trying to put square pegs in round holes. So I think they're doing an excellent job offensively, just understanding our personnel and working with that piece. And each week is a progression, going in the right direction offensively, and we just look forward to what's to come.
Flip it over on our defensive side. We've had strong play really all around. The defensive front, the linebackers, the secondary, with obviously Drew Hill and Billy Higgins both having most tackles on our defensive side. But, I think a really key stat that kind of flies under the radar is our secondary has 5 picks for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns with Devin Hansen and Kevin Williams on pick sixes. I've really been impressed with our secondary, and they've continued to grow and get better and better every single game as well.
Yeah, the guys are playing hard on defense, and that's the one thing that I can't take away from them. The fact of the matter is we put this system in August. We had a coordinator change over the offseason, and we put this new system in August. And when I look back and evaluate the season, we actually came off of 6 quarters of substandard defensive play starting in the second half of the Apprentice game, and it bled into the Randolph-Macon game. And we had to go back to the drawing board, and we had to take a look at ourselves. We had to take a look at what we were asking our young men to do and take a look at how we're going to adjust, what our answer system was going to be defensively. And we challenged ourselves, and we challenged the young men coming into the Bridgewater week that, hey, we have to get this thing back on track. And they stood up and put us in a situation to have a chance to win the football game by playing some good old-fashioned Ferrum football in terms of defense, just very, very physical. Again, just piggybacking off of the secondary piece, those guys are stepping up. We had our starting field safety go down the first play of the game in the Bridgewater game, and we had freshman Damian Doolittle step in, and we never mentioned his name the entire game, which speaks volumes in terms of the preparation and things of that nature that we have going on here in terms of trying to get guys in the 2 deep ready to go. It also supports our JV, what I call come-up team games, that they give those guys opportunities to get quality repetitions in the early stage of the season. So when we do get to this point, they have live bullets being shot at them, and they don't really blink when they get out there in a varsity game. So I'm super excited about the defense moving forward. McCray's doing an incredible job as coordinator. Just a tireless worker here all the time in this building, just trying to work at it and give these guys an opportunity to get better. And the thing that stands out about our defense is that they fly around and they're super duper physical, and it's fun to watch. And when they know where they're going, it's really cool to watch.
So again, for the fans, they always want to compare. What are we looking forward to? What can we compare things to? So obviously Shenandoah and the Black Cats have been able to play Bridgewater. Shenandoah had them the week before, and then we played them last week. Another stat is Bridgewater outgained both of us. Yes. In about 70, 75 yards difference on both sides against Shenandoah and against Ferrum. So a little bit of comparison there for the fans is that Bridgewater got beat in the second half both games. So they came out firing, and both teams were able to make adjustments enough to win in the second half. How much weight do you think that carries into this week against Shenandoah, or is that just we're through that week, we're focusing on Shenandoah now?
I don't think we look at it that way. Each week is its own entity, and we're looking at Shenandoah solely about what they bring to the party, not only schematically but personnel-wise. As head coach, I always try to take a look at the 2 deep and ask myself, okay, all right, would I like to have that young man, or would I like to have that young man? How does he compare to the young man that I have in that same specific spot. And I think it's just a good matchup. They do what they do well, and they're playing with great confidence right now. But I also think that as a football team and a program, that we're on a positive trajectory as well. So I think it's going to be a great game for the fans to see, and it's going to come down to what team minimizes the mistakes, takes care of the football, and also reduces the big play opportunities for that particular offense defensively, who minimizes the big play opportunities.
And moving forward, looking at the bigger picture, Coach, just kind of checking in, where are we as a program? We're about halfway through the season. Where are we at? You had said that we had a change in coordinators in August, and so that kind of changes the trajectory of where we want to be, what we want to do, and just to make a difference every single day. It's going back a little bit bigger than football again. What are the guys? What's the guys' morale? Where are we looking at? Where are we headed? Things of that nature.
Well, I try to monthly send out an email to our alumni family just to give those guys an update on what's going on in the program. And I sent one out this morning, and one of the things that I focused on was how much our young men love each other and how much they love Ferrum. We put a lot of time into making sure that they appreciate Ferrum. And you hear me reference 40 West, you hear me reference our alma mater and our fight song and all the things that go along with being part of this great institution. And that's the focus that we have. And in terms of where we're going with it, another thing that I mentioned with the guys is expect to win, don't hope to win. Expect success, don't hope for success, expect success. And that's not just on the field, that's academically, that's socially within our community. And I think from day one, when we walked in the door, as a new staff and leadership, the focus is again, I always get back to 1 Corinthians 13, 11, and 12, #BAM. Be a man, not this macho guy pushing and shoving his way through life, but a young man who understands his responsibility to his community, his family, and take care of those things that are important. And then the football piece will take care of itself. So the leadership dynamic we have in this program, the excitement we have in this program, not only just from within the Norton Center and the team, but also our parent council and our parent backing, the things that are happening out there on Bassett Field, the support that we have on campus and from afar. There's a buzz going on, and we just want to continue to do the right things and press our way forward throughout this season. So I think we're in a good place in terms of the program, and we're going to just continue to increase those expectations and keep growing this BAM culture, this Black Hat Nation culture, and make sure that the young men appreciate being part of Ferrum College in this football program.
A little story there as part of what you said. Wednesday night we had a volleyball game in Schwartz Gymnasium. And the Panthers came away with a big win over Randolph, first ODAC win of the year. And after the game, it was a bunch of football players in the student section, and they were singing the fight song after the game. When we win, we sing.
Right.
And that just, again, the love for Ferrum. That's a Wednesday night volleyball game in the gym. They were there, they were loud. What I heard, the environment was nuts. And it's because of the football guys, it's because of the wrestling program, it's just because of the love of Ferrum that everybody has here at the college.
That's right, and I think that's wonderful, and we promote that and we talk about that within our leadership program and our competition that we have in our leadership program. Part of it is just being involved with your community, and they go to games and they support other teams. They're rewarded for that, and they're doing it because they want to. It's not just because of the points, but it's just another incentive to get our guys out at other sporting events to help out our teams. We are one of the larger populated teams on campus, and we can come out with a pretty significant showing if we show up in numbers, and they're just buying into it, and it helps to be winning a few games along the way. And again, it just comes down to, do you love Ferrum? Do you appreciate Ferrum? the way I do. And I'm going to make sure that everyone understands what this place means to me. And over time, it's just going to grow on you. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. Another piece of this weekend, it's homecoming weekend on campus. We have the Corn Classic tomorrow in Floyd at Great Oaks Country Club. And then afterwards, it'll be a social event there at Mellow Mushroom in Roanoke. Throughout the weekend, there's multiple programs having alumni games, events, get-togethers. You had mentioned Bassett Field, Tailgate Alley. Saturday, we'll have food trucks in the alley, a little bit bigger of a buzz. You know, most all programs will be out there having tents or being around and having their student athletes around as well. You know, it's a little bit of a buzz here on campus this weekend.
Well, what I try to tell our young men every day, it's got to mean something to play back here on 40. It's got to be a big deal. And that's the one thing that I wanted to focus on once we got back to a traditional season is making our game day environment special back here. It's already been special, but just continue to build on it. And the excitement of homecoming, I also put in my email to the alums this morning, hey, whatever you do this weekend, being in and around is just going to continue to build on the environment that we're trying to create week in and week out. And this could be a springboard into a tradition moving forward. That Saturday afternoons here on Route 40 are just special. And if you want to see some good college football, come on out here and check out the Black Hats. So I'm excited about homecoming. This is the first homecoming opportunity for me as I return as head coach, and a lot of young men that I've been associated with over the years are coming back this weekend, and I'm trying to understand how to compartmentalize this, because I understand it's going to be unbelievably emotional for me, because over my 23, 24 years, I've spent 14 of those years, maybe even more, as an assistant coach or a head coach here at Ferrum, and so there's a lot of people that I've come into contact with that impacted my life. I've impacted their lives, and that's what homecoming's all about. And I just look forward to our guys being able to see that and experience that, because our freshman class last year were unable to experience it, and I want those guys to understand how big this thing is.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, I think that'll do it for us this week for our first installment of Ferrum Football First and 10
Absolutely.
In the 2021 season. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thanks for joining us, and please come out to W.B. Adams Stadium as we welcome the Hornets of Shenandoah into Panther Nation here this weekend.